Shalom, family. Glory be to God and blessed be the Lamb. Welcome to the day after. The day after the midterms are over. All of the votes are counted. And I'm being presumptive. I haven't really followed any of it. I generally do. But that was when I was a different person. Today, it's kind of better that I don't until I'm ready. It just is. So, congratulations to all of those who did win. But in my feed, it comes across that there's been a blue wave. So I'm assuming that Democrats nationwide won multiple seats on multiple levels, both local, federal. At any rate, I would I would say out to all of the newcomers, get ready, get ready. Meanwhile, can someone tell me, when does government have the right to tell a private business, if there is such a thing anymore? I would figure that once your government has to permit you, and I understand, and and license you, then you're no longer a private business at that point. That's just my argument. That's just my argument. I don't see why, the government has to permit and license anything. I can see setting code. I can see setting standards. But beyond that, I can't see it. At any rate, that's just me. So what I'm saying is, how is it that the state of New York has the power to tell private businesses to don't give discounts or special treatment to any of their customers who receive SNAP? Think about that a minute. Think about that. You are telling me, as the owner of the business, that I can't give my customers who receive SNAP benefits a discount without signing some kind of waiver. Who sits up and think of this shit? I know one thing about this country. Well, especially its larger cities, they have a hard on when it comes to the poor. They not only not help them, they find innovative ways of harming them, or so it was seen. So it was seen. I've always said that it's not um, so forward to not help someone, but it is forward to not only not help, but to harm. That's a whole different fight. That's a whole different argument there. Whole different argument. They're saying that the election in New York is a historical moment. Historical moment. They also say that people are fleeing New York to Florida. They're also saying a lot of things. They're mostly panicked be- because someone from the outside won. And they have to put that on the fact that he's Muslim. That their angst is because of his Islamic roots. His Islamic roots. That's the angst. Although he won with a majority, a solid majority of the vote, in a city that is full of what you would think would be anti-Islamic people. That's a fact. So now what? Now what? Think about that one a second, and all of the possibilities. Then you look at MAGA. May I offer some advice? Just drop the name. Just drop the name MAGA. You are involved in a three-way knife fight. You are involved in a three-way knife fight. If not four, shit, five. I mean, just drop the name. You guys are fracturing. You can no longer legitimately be called MAGA. You are going to have to finish fracturing and call each other by different monikers. But it won't be MAGA anymore. And that was, and again, I'm talking from the perspective of a black man. There has never been a time that this country has been great except for you. Pretty much nobody else but you. Even those who was, who are successful under you have to sell so much of the damn sales that there's nothing left. You, there's simply nothing left. Anyway, this knife fight. So it seems to me that the only difference is that one of them hates black people exclusively, and the other one hates black people and Jews. I mean, and you have another one giving up the dirt on both. I mean, it is a knife fight. You even have those sitting on the sideline. And when did you do realize that you guys have become like um, legacy news, right? You have become the news. Social media talking heads. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just don't want to call your names. I'm fully aware of all of the names. I don't want to call your names because I reserve that for harmful shit. So I make it a rule not to put your names in my mouth unless I plan to harm you. So if I call you by name, then I'm probably going to try to harm you. That don't mean that unless I call you by your name, that don't necessarily mean that I'm either going to or want to. It means nothing. But for sure, if I call you by name in my mouth, then it's just a bad thing. So I don't call people by name unless and every time I have meant to harm them. So we're gonna stay on that path. It keeps understanding. At any rate, without going into the races of these gentlemen and ladies, I mean, it's a weird ass place. It's out and out racism. It's out and out sexism, xenophobia. I mean, goodness gracious, you trying to each other, out hate each other. Although I don't think it's hate at this point, at least not for all of you. I'm starting to learn that you've been paid. I mean, every other week, I'm learning that someone has been paid to say this. So that's not even their real position. You're a shield, a freaking shield. You are, hey, don't walk out yet. Listen, you are a paid political shield without any real position. Now, 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 as a white man, this is a problem for me as a black man because I thought that you really believed in your racism. I thought you believed in your hate. You, you don't. Damn it, it just brings you resources and brings you money. Don't get upset with me. You can thank me. They will say whatever they have to say at any given moment in time to get what they want. I was right all fucking along. So that means I've been right at least a year. I simply don't believe you. You're getting paid to say what what that money wants you to say. And I'm supposed to believe that somehow the money is not influencing you when I know that that's what they paid you for. Did you have that position before or after the money? Did you become famous and known before or after the money? I mean, let's ask ourselves some honest questions here. One thing about these guys is that they have a lack of integrity. It's not personal. It really isn't. I mean, it's like as a freaking collective. It's like they're not even realizing as I speak that you're going down the exact same road of the newspapers, cable news, and legacy news, social media. You are now the news. You are the number one byline on most of your platforms. Will you hurry up and get this knife fight over with, please? Someone has to stab somebody. Standing around in this room looking at each other with these blades because somebody walked in. This is where you take pause? No. This shit must be settled. What is the right? What is conservative? What is Republican? And what the hell is MAGA? Someone had, hey, you know what? Personally, I don't like stabbing people, okay? But I mean, I prefer cutting people. But that's just me. And all of you guys are holding your blades in the stabbing position. So will somebody get stabbed and fall? Make it a two-man fight. One down, two left. I mean, well, really, it's five if I was to just start to name them. And one of them, whew, goodness gracious. I mean, you just never know when this is. Anyway, finish this. Finish this, okay? So we can settle the country and know what we up against here. It would be nice. It would be nice. I would never get in the middle of a three-way knife fight. I'm not gonna try to break this up. Shit, I don't even want to witness it because I know that someone's gonna get hurt. Watch it. We have to see the blood, symbolically speaking. Watch it. We have to see the blood. And hold on, that's just on one side of the room. On the other side of the room, we have people buying whole media outlets and firing everybody black. Everybody black. I'm like, well, shit. The gloves are now officially off. Just about. Just about. They'll never admit it because they want to look like they're not the racist while being the racist. Like, there's no real way that you can understand that under reorganization, excuse me, under reorganizing this media corporation, how it would look that if you fired everybody black. I mean, did you think about the optics of it? About the optics? And this ain't been with 3 weeks after the new person came. I mean, man, they came with a knife, but hey, it was a good business move, I guess. Who am I? I'm not in their field. I wouldn't necessarily know what a good business move is or not, but I do know what bad optics is. Lucky for us that it was the old folks station that most of us don't watch. For for Generation X, it always has been the old folks station. Okay, and I won't call them out, but people in Houston know exactly which station that I am talking about. It's the old folks station. All right, it's the station that will show you shows like Barnaby Jones and shit and Mannix. Anyway, man, back in the gap. Back in the gap. So anyway, moving ahead. District 18. Now, you know damn well I was going to say something, but once again, I don't know who won what. And I really don't want to know. I don't want to know. I will know when I want to know. So I'm not going to go looking for this information, and I most definitely ain't going to watch it on the news because I just don't want to know. I don't want to know. But understand this. You can't unspeak words once spoken, okay? Unspoken words have been spoken. If you get what I mean, There's no taking those words back. There's no taking those words back. So be careful. And those words are very real. That seat is dangerous. I'm not going to reiterate that. And so far, God hasn't made me a lie, and I haven't made him a lie. So if I'm telling you that that seat is dangerous, it is dangerous. It operates against us, and you know who us is, and you know what our interests are, and you operate against those interests in any kind of way. What is the penalty? You guessed it, and we won't hesitate. We won't hesitate. Moving on, back to this three-way knife fight here. So you got one that basically, well, hold on. Let me set the backdrop here. All of his social media outlets from the right side of politics, their base is those who hate black people. Understand that first. That's the base right there. That is the market. They all hate black people. They all have found a niche market to make plenty of money off of saying things or degrading or reporting news from their particular right white perspective as it pertains to black people. Black people meaning anything with melanin in their skin. This is the definition that they use. They are not interested in the delineation of what is black and what is black and what is black and what is black. It's simple for them. They see melanin, they see nigger. Okay? They see melanin, they see nigger. Shit, they don't even have to see a lot of melanin. And you're still a nigger. You can be high yellow. They're not stupid. You're still a nigger. Okay? And we all know this. We all know this. So what is the fight? The fight comes down to who supports Israel or not. On the one side, they call Israel what it is. And you know me. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Who is the enemy? Okay. That's just how it is. We are maybe trying to kill each other next week, though. But for right now, if he needs rocks, I shall be bringing him rocks. If he needs a big stick and bullets, I shall be providing them to him. If he needs cover as he fights the beast, I shall be giving him cover. And this is just how it is. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay? And right now, it's a situation where think of it this way. There's three white guys. All of them hate a nigga. All of them hate a nigga. Okay? And they not, and they eyeballing each other with long blades. I don't know what they're fighting about. It's not my business. It really isn't. But I do understand this. It has something to do with these other people. Okay? Now, I don't like them other people. I mean, they're just, this is just hypothetical, because that is overly broad statement that I just made. I don't like these people. No, I don't like some of them. But anyway, those in power, that they're on the outside too, watching the whole fight after they done egged it on. After they done egged on this fight, trying to destroy the right, it's going to turn out bad. Even for them. Even for them. So the way I see it, I have three enemies in a room and a fucking proxy enemy. The proxy enemy has has a has a choice, and I would think that I have a choice. So I'm going with the guy who is trying to kill the other white guy, who is the friend of my proxy enemy. Now that's a basic calculation. A basic calculation, and that sounds crass, and that it sounds high schoolish, but that's how I want it to sound. Okay, that there are three white guys in the same room. All of them hate me, and this other white guy is on the outside watching the whole fight. That's four white guys. So the way I look at it is one, if he stabs that white guy, he automatically gets that other white guy. So I get two down, leaving me a two against one rather than four against one. It really is basic mathematics here, written in stab wounds and blood. Shit happens. Why I myself have had the pleasure of chasing a man with a knife. They really can run fast, even the fat ones. A little bit of dark humor, but it's true. I mean, it's true. You would imagine, I mean, you would be shocked at how fast people can move when they know that their lives kind of depend on it. They can move pretty goddamn fast if they want to. Even turning corners and going in circles. They really can. You'd be shocked. But so as America implodes, as a body politic, as a society, oh, and you are imploding. This is a collapse. This was over, folks. You know, one of the things that you see in most countries collapse. It, I mean, it always looks a little differently, but in the end, it always goes the same way. First, you start out with agendas, the different agendas. Same people, same country, different agendas. All of these different agendas are competing against each other for popularity as well as resources, money, and other resources. More money, okay? Competition. Competition. Now, these agendas cause the issues. Agendas cause issues. Okay? Now, in the law field, there's issues and then there's facts. Okay? Issues and facts. Did the facts arrive be for the issues, or are the issues a descriptor of the facts? Anyway, that's in the weeds a little bit. That's in the weeds. The agendas created the issues. Okay? The issues evolved into ideologies. All competing. All competing. Issues evolve into political ideologies. One way or the other. This country has a dozen of them, if not a dozen, more than that dozen. All based on self, who have found other selves that think like them. Okay, and here's the here's the kicker: all of them deserve the same equality and respect as the next one, according to them. You see what's going on here? You see what's going on. So now, guess what happens after step one, step two, step three? Okay? You simply don't like each other anymore. It's no longer a damn ideological thing that you can respect each other's differences. Now, as a population, you have become outright tribal, and you don't like each other. This is always present in the collapse of a fucking society. It always happens on a sociological level. And the institutions and the systems draw all of their employees, all of their servants, all of their agents from that same society. All of them being members of what? A group, an agenda, an issue, and an ideological fact. You get it now? You get it. This is how it breaks down along class lines, which it should. That makes sense. If that nigga over there got some money all the time, and I'm broke all the time, eventually he gonna become a problem. I mean, he need to give up some money or he need to move. He can't he can't just sit there. He's gonna become a problem. I know that I mean that sounds a little unbecoming on my part, but it is what it is. Okay? He can't just sit there anyway. Anyway, so as your society collapses, so to the government, its institutions, its systems, its social order, which ain't really a social order, it's a social hierarchy, not order. And shit order and shit in order. No, it's an enforced hierarchy, social order. Someone told me back in 2018, an angry lawyer, I'm going to go further, an angry black lawyer said, ain't no one man going to upset the social order. And I told him then, you don't have an order. You think you have an order. All it takes is to shake that joker a couple of times, bump to it a few times. This order has bend in it, a lot of bend in it, like a chain. Yeah, I mean, it's strong, but it still bends. It's a chain. Not, it's not like a solid piece of steel here, sir. You have your mechanics all wrong. I mean, and I was right. You don't have a social order. Nope, you don't. You have a social hierarchy based upon race and based upon class. Ain't no way out of it. But we all want to pretend that it's something else. But we know that it's a lie. It is a complete lie. And we also know that countries like this need the lie. They must have the lie. There's a whole swath of things that they won't say, even though they're right there. Even though it would help them if they said it out loud, they still won't do it. I remember when I used to have that problem. I like see it. You have to learn like I did. It's not a good character trait. It's not. It may seem like it at first, and even it may even be good at first, but over time it's just not. And we haven't even gotten into the spiritual aspect of this. Now the spiritual side of me is both in awe and laughing my ass off at the power of the angels. I mean, this is where I can tell you point blank what the plan is, the spiritual plan is, and you'll still play right into it because there's absolutely nothing you can possibly do about it. It ain't. And I have put that over to the vastness and the power of the God Almighty, his omnipotence. You can't not do or do anything that's not gonna help him. Absolutely nothing. In fact, the Bible tells you this, that all things, all actions go unto his greater good. How is that? Because he can make what is crooked straight. Anyway, I'm not giving you Bible lessons tonight either. We're having too much fun messing with freaking politics and these three-way, these goddamn knife fight. One helping me. Oh, goodness, man. I wish I could call them by name. I mean, and they're so rigid in their image that if I try to describe them, people who follow this would know exactly who I'm talking about. So I can't even describe the fellows. I mean, but most importantly, who is telling the truth? I mean, there is I would think in this country, somebody always lying. But the left have their version of the truth and the right has their version of the truth. So one of them is lying. There's always nuances in everything that they say. It's never flat out truth and they use vagueness of the statements to give themselves cover. So you can't quite call them a lie, like they all been trained, like they all been trained. Never be straight, because that's how they get you. Get their ass a straight answer, and they want to hold you to it. It's just like that, and they don't like to be held to anything. So where's all of this going? This social collapse. What's going to remain of MAGA? As even the Christians and people, man, some of y'all are like, but you guys have to come to grips. If you're gonna make statements, man, the B have done your research. Y- Okay, we want to say that some of some amongst us want to say that America is a secular country. It probably is now, but I'm saying that it was founded as a Christian country. And I can prove this through the Constitution and the Federalist Papers and other documents that make up the founding documents of this country. That is a fact. That is a fact. If you want to make the argument that, like I heard someone say earlier, we have separation of church and state here. No, we don't. We used to. We used to. But guess what happened to the church? Capitalism. And where there's capitalism, there is politics. That's what happened to the church. Politics came in and God went out. I've seen rooms full of pastors sitting like kids. It's at least 100 of them. As politicians tell them what to go back and tell their membership. You still think that's church? God don't got nothing to do with their damn church. He really don't. That's why it is what it is. Churches don't have 501c3s. Okay? Churches don't, I better not say it. I doubt it. A bunch of pastors are going to get upset. But I do have friends who will say it for me. But anyway, there is no separation of church and state. The state is the church and the church is the state. Once they went in there and they forced the churches to start having boards like they corporations, as in board, as in the pastor is the CEO. You see how they have messed up everything? You don't have church as you know it. You ain't had church as you know it since the mid 80s, 88 or 89, at best. At best, they preach what they are told to preach. Hell, you can go to Sunday school and you open the Sunday school of a book, and and the publisher, which I always look for, it's always some guy with some fancy name. They're actually telling the pastors on what day, on what Sunday at Sunday school to teach this lesson. You still think that it's church as you know it. However, the country itself was founded on Christian principles. Okay? This is what happens when you let successive generations of immigrants, sorry, immigrants, this ain't about you. I'm going to get on the lesson. This happens wherever there's a high degree of traffic from country to country, be it coming or going. It changes things. It changes things. No one has the right to get upset. Damn. A fact is a fact is a fact. This is what, you know what I would call you guys? Hostile witnesses. I would have to step the bar and whisper at the judge and say, Judge, I'm not I'm not too sure about calling this next witness. They don't have a choice but to be here because we subpoenaed them. They wouldn't show up on their own. So pretty much we drug them in here under duress, or probably ate them the threat as in if you don't show up, these are the penalties. And we're not too sure about this witness here. We uh, we would like to be asking for, say, a 30-minute recess to assess the situation, maybe have a discussion with them because they keep rolling their damn eyes at me. We don't trust this one, okay? But you would be that type of people, hostile. Not because I'm telling a lie. No, you simply don't like it. Like you don't like each other. And you don't like each other. You don't like each other by race, and I don't give a fuck. You don't like each other by cliques and class. You don't like each other by gender. You don't like each other by gay or straight. Shit. Some of you don't even like each other, male, female, and they not even gay. I'm telling you, they just flat the fuck out. Don't like men. And they flat the fuck out. Don't like women, and neither one of them are gay. I seen it with my own eyes. I seen it with my own. My point is, you are filled with hate and distrust, and you should be. You should be. There's nothing in this country that you could actually put your trust in. It's just not. Be careful out there. Don't be trusting nothing. Nothing. I mean, I just wouldn't do it. But then consider the source. I've been hunted like an animal. Okay? I have went through some of the most horrific things that a man could ever go through. So maybe I am a little jaded. Maybe I'm biased. Nevertheless, it doesn't hurt to be careful. It just don't. And don't trust it. Anything. I'm sorry, but I just gotta say it. I mean, I just have to say it, man. Shit. But at any rate, and people got upset with me back in 2019 or some shit. He don't trust nobody. Of course I don't. Look at my back. Do you see those stripes? I didn't put those back there. Shit. I mean, what is wrong with you? I should act like they're not there? Now, in the midst of this, you have the Jesus haters and you have the Jesus lovers of the conservative and of the right wing. Now you see why it starts to get strange. Jesus is black, and some of them are coming to the conclusion that Jesus is black. So I can imagine how Jesus feels when one of them say in derision that these people over here does not only not believe in Jesus, but they say openly that Jesus is boiling in his own excrement, and it pisses them off. Now is that friend or foe to Jesus? Irrespective, once you get past the white part of it, and the right wing, and that blade, if Jesus is the man in the room taking the insult, and this guy is over here willing to whoop some ass over this insult, then he is my friend. He's my friend. Now, we may fight later. Who knows? Because he still has his own hate. But right now, he can kill two birds with one stone. And I will be supporting this one, irrespective of the outcome or the possibilities, because it's simple mathematics. Mathematics. And everybody doesn't think like that, but I do. I do. So to watch uh, the right implode, and look at the left. The left is the left is the same thing. It is a basket case. It is a basket case. Everything under that umbrella that you can possibly think of, and turns out though none of them have 1 ounce of value to the Democratic Party beyond their vote. None of them have representation. None of them. Not the And you go down the list of groups that have benefited the from Democratic uh, elections, okay, that now have absolutely nothing. How the Democratic Party pumped their heads up and made them privileged, gave them certain rights. No, I'm not going to be going down the list. I thought about it, but gave them privileges, it gave them benefits, it gave them jobs, in some cases grants and monies. And got to be fair, according to Christian principles, overwhelmingly it stands solidly against. So what do we have here? You see how it's going to all fall down? Because the people underneath the Democratic don't like each other either. They don't like each other either. They come together twice a year and they vote, and then they go right back to acting against each other's interests as soon as they can. It'll show up in the workplace. It'll show up at home. It'll show up at the social uh, gatherings. It'll show up at the food markets where they all bump into each other. I mean, it just shows up everywhere, man. Let's just be clear. They build onto each other's enclaves to this day. 400,000. I, I call them $400,000 neighborhoods. $400,000 neighborhood. Now you may find one in there, 299 or a 350, but actually it's a $400,000 neighborhood. And in these neighborhoods, and I know because I've lived in them, and I've been shocking them. I mean, they be like, man, I got stories to fucking tell. These people crazy. But anyway, they live a whole other different lifestyle. Totally different. Okay? Hell, I've been sitting in the backyards and people are looking over the goddamn gate like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, what the fuck, man? Shit. But some of them, believe it or not, have had so little contact with black people. Once they get over the fact that, Daddy, you ain't the cat burglar, they kind of cool. But you are actually shocking to them. That's weird, but also a fact. Also a fact. So, what are the black issues? Because I'm a black man. Reparations, hate crimes bill. Reparations and a hate crimes bill. I kind of find the hate crimes bill a little, um, what's the word I'm looking for? God dang it, redundant. Because my plan is for either them to be gone or we to be gone. And under those circumstances, a hate crime bill is unnecessary. However, on a political level, it all makes sense. Because then you'll force them to start to lock each other up. And they cannot possibly explain why this group has a hate crimes bill, and this group has one, and this group has one, and this group has one, when black people take the brunt of hate. They can't make the viable argument, and they won't. They will simply stymie and stymie and stymie politically while not making the argument. Last but not least, oh, and reparations, that's just obvious. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what's going to happen next if you do not um, finish what you started. They will now move to make their behavior legal. They will start to make corruptions and the things that you would call that corruption legal. This will be their next move, guaranteed. I ain't been wrong yet, and I've been watching this kind of shit a long time. This will be their next move. It, it is to try to normalize even further and to codify their own behavior. So look for movements on the field of, say, what they have termed now as being minor attracted. Start to look for movement in, in those areas with law as to what a minor is and things of that nature. Okay? You will see. In certain states, it's already, not states, in certain nation states. When I say states, sometimes I mean nation states. It's already happening. It's already happening. Lucky for us, we don't have it in us culturally, but those other nation states did. And they have codified into law or on a social level, they right to do vile ass shit. Vile shit. So how's this gonna end? We all know the answer. I mean, war. You ain't getting this back. War. You're not getting this back, people. It can be gotten back. You know how hard it is to reunify a society? One of 300 plus million broke down upon agendas, race, tribalism, culture, and class. It's not easy. You ain't even got to the spiritual aspect of it. I'm pretty damn sure that with man's feeble ability, it can't be done. It it will cascade, which means get worse and worse and worse, and then it will collapse. Hell, you even have people right now that's making money following other people around for no reason. You have right now people using AI to hurt other people, using their likeness and their face. And where is the government letting them do it? They let a certain group of people run this country over and run it into the ground. And now you're pretty much electing anyone. Anyone. You know, it's funny how on South Park they were saying that under Bill Clinton, sorry, Bill, but but I don't mean to hurt you, but this, this could sting. But under Bill Clinton, all of the animated cartoons of the time were saying how far the bar had sunk. If this man could be and remain president, they had on the cartoons deep sea divers trying to raise the bar. Okay, it's funny as hell trying to raise the bar. But you've been sinking ever since. Now, basically, they have the attitude that anybody can be president. Anybody. This is why your governments are bought and freaking paid for under this so-called pseudonym called democracy, which don't exist. If you can buy it, then it has no real value. It really don't. The real shit don't have a value that you can buy with dollar bills. It fades. It goes away. Okay? So this one's over. So that leaves us just a couple of fucking choices. We're going to get ours and get those who are coming with us away. Okay? Because this is going to go sideways really fucking bad. And it's going to happen faster than you think. If these bastards are already at the point where they're saying that I don't care if you eat or not, when half of the SNAP beneficiaries are actually children. But this is what happens when you have people who can kill women and children in a whole nother foreign land. Then what they gonna think about your women and children? Do you think their thought process happens in a vacuum or something? That, it's a separate thought process out the same brain vis-a-vis who's involved? No, it ain't. It's not. So you should not be surprised that they're starving your ass here when they've been doing it on the world stage. I mean, in just the last couple of years on full display with your money, with your bullets, with your bombs. And again, you all woke up this morning and went to work like it didn't even happen. Like it didn't even happen. So whatever happens, happens. And you really have no right to complain. You don't. Sit back, enjoy the show, and enjoy the fucking ride. But you really don't have much to say here because we wouldn't even be here if generations of you had done what you needed at any given time. At any given time. At some point, God was going to step in anyway because you're killing you and everybody around you. Can't nobody disappear as a species any better than you. This is a fact. You wipe species after species after species after species off this planet. Off this planet. Okay? And now you wipe yourself off. So we got to go, gentlemen. May the best man win. Sir, I'm hoping that you can take them both. I would love to, offer you a little advice on how to get both of them. I can see a positioning from the outside in, but that would be unfair. Just step to the left. Keep it moving. I am Source. I am 7 and 1.